evening. You are listening to Studio 7 from the Voice of America on Wednesday, June the 10th, 2020. And this is Live Talk Diaspora Forum. I'm Jonga Kandemiring.
And I'm Gibbs Dube in Maryland.
Tonight on Live Talk Diaspora Forum, we are going to discuss about the United Nations human rights expressing a concern over what it calls human rights abuses in Zimbabwe. This follows the reported disappearances and torture of three MDC activists or members, MP Joanna Mamombe and Cecilia Chimbiri, and another lady who were tortured. And now we understand that these ladies, they are also under police surveillance as we speak, Gibbs.
The three MTC Alliance activists, that is Harare West Member of Parliament Joanna Mamombe, Cecilia Chimbiri, and Netsai Marova, were allegedly abducted by state security agents in Harare and tortured before they were dumped in a remote area about 80 kilometers outside Zimbabwe's capital city. The three participated in a peaceful protest in which they called the government to provide food for less privileged communities in Zimbabwe during the coronavirus COVID-19 lockdown.
And reports we are getting now is that the three, Joanna Mamombe, Cecilia Chimbiri, and Netsai Marova, as Gibbs mentioned earlier, have been arrested, and they are now with the police. Charges, we are not yet sure as of charges. It's not yet clear. But as we speak, we understand that these ladies have been picked up by the police when they visited their lawyers.
We're also going to touch a little bit about protests throughout the world, and that is linked to the death of George Floyd, who died in police custody. So he was actually pinned down by a policeman, that is a white policeman, until he lost his breath and died. So people have been protesting, and some of them are Zimbabweans living in America and other countries. So it seems as if people are protesting under the banner named Black Lives Matter. So, Jonga, this Black Lives Matter has become a subject of discussion throughout the world, and people are saying they're actually, fighting against racism throughout the world. And we saw some guys in London were actually tossing a statue of one of the people who promoted slavery into a river. So it seems as if this thing is actually, like wildfire now worldwide.
Yes, and we are discussing about human rights issues, Gibbs, from the UN point of view, and also it ties in very well with what is happening around the globe, the demonstrations over human rights. And, the issue here, like in America, is that people say there's discrimination, the way the police handle cases when they are dealing with African American or black people, and when they are dealing with white people. And this, we call it racism. That is what is happening. That's what the world is shouting out loudly. Stop racism now. It's not something that can be allowed to flourish during this era. But the Gibbs, before we delve into that, we'll also look at the numbers of COVID-19 cases in Zimbabwe. The country so far recorded 314 confirmed cases, 46 recoveries, and 4 deaths, while the world has recorded over 7.2 million cases of positive. Those are positive cases, and with over 412,000 deaths and over 21 million recoveries.
Kukhanya kunjalo-ke emhlabeni wonke jikelele siyabona ukuthi kukhona okuningi okwenzakalayo Jonga. Siyabona ukuthi-ke siqalise ngeZimbabwe, i-United Nations ikhiphe-ke umbiko wokuthi kumele eleZimbabwe lime ukhahlameza ilungelo likaZulu. Bakhathazekile sibili ngodaba lolu kulandela-ke ukuthunjwa kwaJoanna Mamombe, uCecilia Chimbiri kanye loNetsai Marova. Singathi-ke abathathu laba bayetheswa icala lokuthi babetshengisela emgwaqweni ngesikhathi ilizwe lingaphansi kohlelo olukuthiwa i-lockdown. Khonapho-ke sikhuluma nje okwamanje kukhanya sebebotshiwe njalo, kuthiwa-ke bayenza umbiko wamanga ukuthi bathunjwa. So-ke bebekhona ngale kumagqwetha abo kukhanya zani sebethethwe sibili. Siphinde futhi njalo sizakhuluma ngakho-ke okwenzakala emhlabeni wonke jikelele kulokuthengisela emgwaqweni okwabantu sibili besithi abantu abamnyama labo baqakathekile lokhu kulandela ukubhubha kuka-George Floyd khonapha-ke kwelemelika wafithizelwa phansi lipholisa waze wabhubha. So lakho sizakhuluma ngakho khonokho. So nxa sikhangela njalo siyakhangela khonokho-ke ukuthi abantu eZimbabwe kambe sebebangaki asebebanjwe ngumkhuhlane we-COVID-19. Siyabona ukuthi okwamanje uhlangothi lwezempilakahle luthi sokulabantu 314 kuzobuya abayi-46 seba-recover kuzobuya-ke i-54,000 abantu asebathestwayo. Nxa sisikhangela-ke umhlaba wonke jikelele kulabantu 7.2 million asebebanjwe ngumkhuhlane lo, kuthi abafika 412,000 khonapho sebabhubha. Kuzobuya khonapho-ke kwelemelika bayi-1,979,893 kuzobuya sebebhubhile i-112,000. So siyabona sibelijonga umkhuhlane lo uyamemetheka okunye okumangalisayo, njalo sifisa ukubikela uzulu ukuthi le yi-pre-recorded show, ayisukuthi kumbe bangayenelisa ukufona kunjalo-ke Jonga.
Ndizvozvo Gibbs hongu vadiwa vateereri, nhasi tiri kukurukura nenyaya yegwaro ranyorwa nesangano reUnited Nations richitaura nenyaya dzekutyora kwekodzero dzevanhu muZimbabwe, yavari kuti iyo paita inonganzi pachirungu pattern yekuti vanhu vanotsakatika vototywa, pavanozowanikwa vanenge vashungurudzwa. Izvi zvinotevera kutotywa kunonzi kwakaitwa nhengo 3 dzebato reMDC kunoti mumiriri weHarare West muparamende muzvare Joanna Mamombe nemuzvare Cecilia Chimbiri namuzvare Netsai Maruva vakamiswa papolice checkpoint kana paroadblock muHarare vachibva kunoratidzira kwaiitwa nevechidiki vebato ravo kuWarren Park. Saka ipapo vanoti vakabva vangosungwa nemapurisa, vasungwa nemapurisa vanoti vakazotorwa nevanhu vakazonowashungurudza vakavatocha vakasiya vakandwa kunonzi kubhindura kwamuchapondwa. Kubhindura uko hanzi makilomita anodarika 90 kilometers kubva muHarare. Chinoshamisa ndechekuti vanhu ivavo kana vachinzi vakawanikwa vari kubhindura ikoko vakasvika sei kubhindura, tichiona kuti migwagwa yese ine maroadblock. Kana vari vanhu vanenge vakazvifambira vega ndomwe mbunzi inofanira kubvunzwa, nekuti tiri kunzwa vamwe vachitaura kuti aiwa vanhu ava vari kunyepa kuti vakakidnapwa kana kuabductwa ikoko vakatotywa, hanzi vanenge vachinyepa. Kana vainyepa vakakwanisa sei kupfuura maroadblock ose aya kunobuda vave kubhindura. Tichatarisawo nyaya yekuratidzira kuri kuitwa pasi rose zvichitevera kushaya kwemwe murume wechitema wemuno muAmerica vaGeorge Floyd vakafa muguta reMinneapolis kuMinnesota musi wa25 Mei uno mwedzi wapera, mushure mekunge vasungwa nemumwe mupurisa wechichena akavatsimbirira pauro, zvinoita kuti vazonzi vakatadza kufema vakashaya. Zvakakonzera kuratidzira kwakawanda mumatunhu ose emuAmerica pamwe chete nepasi rose, kusanganisirawo nevana veZimbabwe vachiratidzira vachiti aiwa zvinhu zvakadaro hazvifaniri zvichiitika munguva ino yekurarama kuri kuita vanhu. Tiri kutarisawo zvakare nyaya yekuti chirwere cheCovid-19 chiri kuramba chikwira muZimbabwe. Uwandu hwevanhu vari kunyanyobatwa nechirwere ichi vanhu vari kunzi vari kubva kunze, zvikuru vari kubva kuSouth Africa, madiasporans vanenge vadzokera kumusha. Tinoona kuti Zimbabwe zvino izvi yaane 310 nevana vanhu vabatwa nechirwere ichi 314, koita 46 kana 46 vapona nevana vafa kubva patanga chirwere ichochi. Mukati imomo tinoonawo kuti kunodarika vanhu zviuru 50 kana over 50,000 vaongororwa muZimbabwe. Ndo nyaya dzatiri kukurukira Gibbs.
Yeah, let's start with the protests in USA. So I think we've got a video, Jonga, that will show people, what is happening here. Let's just have a look and listen to what the people are saying. That's exactly, Chonga, what is happening in different countries. Here it was in Washington. So your take on this, Chonga?
Yes, Gibbs is not that vanhu vakatsamwa. People are angry. That's why tiri kuona kuratidzira kuri kuitika pasi rose. That's why people are demonstrating the world over because of what is happening in America. That alone caused the whole world to shake. And I hope that will bring the much needed change that people are fighting for. Gibbs.
Yes, our first guest is Mr. Tewa Mavinga, who is a human rights lawyer. Mr. Mavinga, welcome to the program. So let me get him on board. And Mr. Mavinga, so what's your take on what the United Nations is saying, Mr. Mavinga?
Well, it's very important. And as Human Rights Watch, we are very pleased because we had called on the UN experts on human rights to speak out on Zimbabwe, to intervene and to demand accountability, because there has been a rise in abductions and cases of torture with impunity, with no accountability, no arrests. And so when we had the most recent abductions and torture and sexual abuse of Joanna Mamombe, Cecilia Chimbiri, and Netsai Marova, three young MDC activists and party members, we then welcome what the UN has now said, that they condemn the abuses and want to send investigators to independently look at what's happening. And we hope that the government of Zimbabwe, if it has nothing to hide, will invite with open arms these UN human rights experts to see for themselves what is happening in Zimbabwe and to come up with recommendations on how better to protect the rights of all citizens in Zimbabwe.
Yes, let me bring back Mr. Chonga Kandimiri so that we can proceed with the discussion. Chonga? Yes, Chonga.
Mr. Mavinga, welcome to our show. Well, he already touched the question I wanted to pose to him, that can we see the Zimbabwe government allowing these investigators, the UN investigators, into the country? He says we'll wait and see. But Mr. Mavinga, as we speak, we heard that the three ladies have been arrested again. What's your take on this in the event that this development is true? Because we confirmed earlier, and that's what we have. We are yet to check whether they are still in the hands of the police.
So let me bring in Mr. Mavinga. Can you react to that question?
Yes, thank you. I think it's appalling. It's tragic and unfortunate that the Zimbabwe authorities are failing to address the issues of reports of torture and abduction. Instead of dealing with these reports, they are victimizing these young women, arresting them, and perhaps it is a way of diverting attention, because it was only today that the UN came out strongly speaking about these abductions and torture. And also we know that there is huge pressure on the government of Zimbabwe regarding serious allegations of the looting of COVID-19 funds and high-level corruption. So it could be a way of diverting attention, but it is unfortunate, because what we now need is to press the reset button for Zimbabwe to open up and invite independent international experts who can come in and get to the bottom of what is happening. What is happening is not justifiable. The three young women should be set free. They should be receiving medical care. They should not be harassed. They should not be pursued. They should not be under any surveillance. There are charges, politically motivated charges against them, but we expect that they should be free and that there should be no further harassment on the young women.
Yes, Mr. Mavinga, maybe you can put that in Shona as well. Just go ahead.
Zviri kuitika zvinoshoreka zvakanyanya kuti madzimai echidiki Joanna Mamombe, Cecilia Chimbiri naNetsai Marova vari kuramba vachishungurudzwa, kunyange zvino tichiziva kuti vakabatwa vakapambwa vari mukati memapurisa vakaendeswa kwamuchapodwa kubhindura kwavakanoshungurudzwa. Nhasi uno sangano reUnited Nations rataura pachena kuti izvi hazvina kunaka, zvinofanira kuti zviregedzwe, uyezve vakumbira veUN kuti vapinde muZimbabwe vaite tsvakurudzo dzavo vega. Saka kana hurumende yeZimbabwe isina chainovanza, ngaitaure kuti vanoda kuuya ngavapinde vazvionere zviri kuitika. Uyezve tinoshora zvakanyanya mashoko ekuti nhasi uno madzimai echidiki aya Johanna Maombe, Cecilia Chimbirira neTsai Marova vari kunzi vasungwa nemapurisa vachipomerwa mhosva yekuti vakamhangara kuti vakashungurudzwa. Hazvifaniri kunge zvichiitika zvokuti vasungwe zvatiri kunzwa izvi. Vanofanira kunge vari kunze vachirapwa marwadzo avo, vachibatsirwa, kodzero dzavo dzichiremekedzwa.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toma Vinga. I think we've got two other guests. That is Dr. Nkululeko Sibanda and Dr. Masimba Mavaza. Let's start with you, Mr. Dr. Mavaza. So we hear that the United Nations is actually not happy with what is happening in Zimbabwe in terms of human rights abuses. What's your take on that?
Thank you so much. You see, Dambudziko Ratinaro, or the biggest problem we have with the United Nations is United Nations is listened to one side and offers their a very, very partial comment to say they're not happy with a pattern which is happening in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, as we know, inyika ine runyararo rukuru, the country with the most peaceful country ever. We do not have problems of torture, or neither do we have problems of arbitrary arrests or kidnappings, as they call it. These three have been asked by the police, by the authorities, to prove that they were kidnapped, because they were never kidnapped. The police do not know that they kidnapped them. There's nobody who is known to have kidnapped them. Now, the fact that people outside the country and within the country, they've got an alignment to the opposition and they want the Zimbabwean government to be vilified. It is a shame, because we are putting our country in a black book because we still want to benefit our political gains. But there is nothing like any kidnapping. And furthermore, nyaya yabuda nhasi yekuti vasikana vachada vanenge vasungwa, regai mapurisa aite basa ravo. Kana vasikana vane mhosva yavanofanira kudayira, regai vasungwe. Kuchipatara vanoendeswa kuchipatara vachinge vachirwara. Hakuna musungwa akarambidzwa kurapwa. Kana vachinge varapwa, nyaya yavo haifaniri kuora nekuti United Nations yapindira. Uyezve hatingangoti kana United Nations ikanzwa makuhwa kubva kubato rakazvimirira kuti riparadze chimiro cheZimbabwe, yobva yamhanya kuzotsvaka kuzoinspector. Hatisi vana vadiki. There are channels the United Nations must follow. And if there is no official complaint, they should not just come officially. And it's the fact that we have got an ambassador with Zimbabwe to UN. They must approach him, call him, ask him to answer the questions before they tell the whole world on Twitter and on some press statements elsewhere. This shows that the United Nations is not in the favor of a lawfully constituted government of Zimbabwe. The United Nations is actually being used now as a mouthpiece of the opposition. As we can say and strictly say now, we have not experienced my tortures. So while you're on that point, I need you to look at the reaction of the killing of Mr. George Floyd in America.
Before we go into that, let's call in Mr. Dr. Nkululeko Sibanda. Dr. Sibanda, you're on the line. Dr. Sibanda, your reaction to what Dr. Masimba Mavaza is saying?
Well, look, the world is a big place, and if you had a child in a classroom that constantly blames everybody else and says everybody else is against them, you know what a responsible parent or a responsible observer would always say? Mm-hmm. But that child has to grow up and become a member of the community of other children. The history of Mnangagwa as a violent dictator, as a violent user of the army, dates back to the years before independence, when you hear stories of people being buried alive in Mozambique and elsewhere. His history in Matabeleland, where he basically ordered the army to kill everybody the same way you would kill insects using DDT that kind of language, that kind of thinking is something that we all know. Mnangagwa says, he will beat people with whips that are salted. Mnangagwa says, he just is a ruler. Mnangagwa says the army and the military are hate. You know that the use of the military in this country by Mnangagwa went up to him using the military for a coup d'etat in 2017. So I think that it will take a lot of energy and it will take a lot of unwillingness on the part of anybody to try and defend. Look, there are people you can defend in terms of their relationship with violence. There are people you just can't. You just shouldn't try unless really you want to put yourself through unnecessary stress. I understand what Dr. Mavaza is trying to say. And I think, he's an excellent gentleman. He's an excellent scholar. And I think he's also a very faithful member of ZANU-PF. But what is being asked of him here, I think, is beyond the pale. It's something that is impossible to defend. There are people you can defend. And look, our country has come to a point, to a nexus where we really have got to make a stand against violence. And that even though the United Nations has spoken, and I'm glad for the work that people like Deo Mavinga are doing, a comrade of ours, a comrade of this country, someone who's loved this country from the very early years of his own life, and he continues to ask not for too much out of the ZANU-PF government and the previous ZANU-PF government. He asks for the most basic and simplest of things.
Yeah,
observe the rights of others as human beings. And that's all we're asking for. And our girls were raped, Gibbs. We're talking about people who were raped. They were raped.
Yes, just 1 second.
So let's not make excuses for rape.
Yes, 1 second.
Armed people and unarmed people.
Yes, 1 second, Dr. Smanda. Can you put that in Debele? Just 1 minute, if you can. Just 1 minute exactly. Yes.
Kubuhlungu kakhulu ukuthi sizwe abantu abanjengomavaza engimaziyo ukuthi umuntu oqeqeshe kahle, umuntu olothando lelizwe lakhe, njalo umuntu othanda ibandla lakhe lezanu. Ngiyakwazi ukuthi ngakakubonisisi sibonile abanye bephuma kumaphephandaba kule viki ephelileyo ababe-government ezanu ukuthi hayi siyaxolisa ukuthi thina sesephakathi lapha sasingakuboni ukuthi ibandla lethu ligcwele ukubulala njalo akathekisi impilo zabanye abantu, ligcwele ukuntshontsha. Zimpi into ezenzakala kuzanu. Ngiyamzwela-ke uDr. Mavaza ukuthi ulomsebenzi onzima kangaka ukuthi azame ukugezisa into engcole, izinuke ngokungcola nje kuphela. Awufuni ukubona ukuthi ingcolile uyayizwa lanxa uthutsha khatshana ukuthi hayi.
Yes, yakuzwa kakhulu-ke.
Yes. Sibonga uDewa Mavinga nawalokho senza umsebenzi omuhle wokuqakathekisa ilungelo labantu. Sithi kabahambelele phambili ngoba kungayisibo namhlanje inkulumo le enkulu esikhulunywa namantombazana aku-MDC kaPresident uChamisa abanjwa kuba abanjwa udlame, banjwa abantu abalempopo. Ngabe kuyinto
siyabonga Dr. Smanda.
lokho sisilwa nduna izanu sizaphelelwa umphako.
Siyabonga kakhulu-ke bamba khonapho sipise ubaba singakayi kubaba uDr. Mavaza. Let's go to Deo Mavinga and get his take on what these two gentlemen are actually saying. Dr. Mavinga, over to you. Just 2 minutes.
Thank you so much, and I fully agree with Dr. Nkululeko Sibanda. And for Dr. Mavaza of ZANU-PF, the challenge is that ZANU-PF is in denial. It has gone back to default settings of serious human rights abuses, of denying people their basic rights, and of pretending that the world is against them. If they have nothing to hide as ZANU-PF, what they need to do is to bring international human rights experts from the UN to investigate themselves. The Constitution of Zimbabwe of 2013, Section 210, says there should be an independent complaints mechanism for issues to do with abuses by the security forces. This has never been put in place. So if ZANU-PF is serious as a government, it must implement this complaints mechanism so that Zimbabweans have somewhere to go to report abuses by the security forces in Zimbabwe. At the moment, there is no independence. Mr. Mavaza, you are saying that the police are investigating, yet it was the same police that arrested the 3 young women, the same police that handed them over to abductors, the same police that is harassing them. So there is no recourse, there is no independence. The police is politicized and partisan, doing effectively a ZANU-PF job.
Yeah, okay. Let me bring in Dr. Mavaza. Go ahead, Dr. Mavaza.
Thank you. Let me start with commenting from what my brother Nkulu had said. Dr. Nkulu, I need to understand one thing. While we do understand your emotions and emotional attachment to the opposition, we do not want to make everything an opposition fighting ground. The 3 girls were not abducted by ZANU-PF or by the police or by anybody at all. The police are investigating. After the investigations, they realized the 3 girls were lying, and that's why they've been arrested for making a false report to the police. So that let the law take its course. And again, there is nothing which we can stand up here and say we are fighting for any rights. There have been no rights trampled by arresting people who have committed a crime. What I was saying, Mr. Ngoma, which you cut me short, was simply to say, if you look at the demonstrations around the world, people are being arrested in England, in America, in Canada, during the demonstrations. And when they are arrested, if that arrest was done in Zimbabwe, everybody will be jumping up and down and say you are arresting demonstrators. Police have got a discretion to see which demonstrator is a problem and arrest them. These 3, when they were arrested or when they claim to be arrested, there is no proof of their arrest. There is no CR number from the police station. They were found a kilometer away from their village in Musana near Bindura. There is no explanation how they arrived there. How did they get their phones to phone Kulu to say, Speaker, we are in Bindura, in a village? Where did they get the phone from? They phoned Chamisa to come rushing with journalists to where they were. Have you ever sat down to think, how did they get the phones when they were abducted? Who can be abducted and be left with their phone? And then they turned back and said, my car was taken back to the police station. It turned out that was not a car. And even if it was a car, the police, when they arrested them or when they went to see them, they only met them at the clinic in Waterfalls. They did not go to Msana. So there was no way the police were there to do anything further. So in other words, the whole story of abduction have got a lot of holes which has to be patched. And unfortunately, the MDC, instead of looking at the law with an open eye, they are looking at the political side. The police are not supposed to give a political decision. They must give a decision which they've sworn the oath to keep the law and to keep the peace. And that's what they're doing.
Thank you.
Today's arrest is actually in order. The MDC must help their members by giving them the lawyers are competent enough to challenge if there's something to challenge, and then the law takes its course. And finally, you need to understand that when these 3,
one second.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, let me bring in Chonga Kanemiri. Chonga, we can hear you now. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I think Mr. Dr. Mavaza spoke for a long time in English. The same with Mr. Mavinga and Dr. Swanda. Maybe I can start by asking Dr. Swanda in Shona. Dr. Swanda, Trugunzwa, Rukutaura, Mavaza.
I can't hear him.
Oh,
yes, no, I'll relay the information. Yes.
Okay. Yes, ndikuda kuvabvunza kuti tiri kunzwa vamavhazi vari kutaura kuti MDC iri kunyepera zvese zvekusungwa kana kutochwa kwevasikana uku. Ndaida kunzwa kuti ivo vari kuti semusangano, nokuti ndanzwa vamavhazi vachitaura kuti dai vasikana vakatochwa ava, dai mapurisa akadaidzwa akaenda kunovatora iko kubhindura kwavakazowanikwa.
Yes, so uyakucela ngesishona ukuthi utsho ukuthi ukhanya ngazani iZANU-PF le government bathi laba bantu baqamba amanga ukuthi ba-adaptwa. So he's asking for your reaction to say, what's your thoughts on that kind of a thing in Shona, Dr. Swanda?
Munobona kuti tinoti nguva dzese hurumende yeZANU-PF kunyanyisisa hurumende yavaMnangagwa nemasoja avo. Munoona paye pavakauraya vanhu muna August vakati ivo taishuda vanhu vakataura nyaya dze 45 degrees asi vanhu vakafa. muna January vanhu vairowa nemasoja vachitwa sei zvikanzi pane third force. Tava kuziva kuti hurumende iyi haigone kutaura chokwadi, uye vanofunga kuti vanogona kuramba vachishungurudza vanhu vachindovanda nekuti aiwa hapana zvataita. Chokwadi chavepo ndechekuti vamavhinga vakutaurirai kuti aiwa kaimi vanhu vezano, kana muchita hachisi chokwadi, regai kuzviinvestigata nemasoja enyu amuri kuti mamembers edu aya maleaders eMDC ngaaende kunoripota nyaya kwavari, uye vari kuvainvestigata. Itai kuti paite third part, daita United Nations iunze rapporteur atarise kuti ko nyaya iyi yakamira sei, uyezve ivo vari kutaura zvone nyaya iyi tinoziva kuti chokwadi chobuda pachena kuti ndozvavakaitwa. Inini wacho ari kutaura ndakambosungwa nemapurisa ezano, tisade kunyeperwa naana Dr. Mavhaza vasingazivi nokuti vasungwe kana kuti vanhu vezano. Inini 2001 ndakasungwa ndikatorwa nemapurisa akaandisa paBulawayo Central, ndikazoti after 3 days ndikazi rimwe mupurisa, konhaiwe nyaya yako iri kuturidza kudai ndei, tanzi tikusunungure. Ndichingosunungurwa kubuda ndarowa joketi ravharwa ndanza handisina mhosva, ndakazoti ndamirira padhore paBulawayo Central kuti ndibude, huku ndatorwa nevanhu vaizviti ivo ndeveprovince vakapfeka mahovhorosi ekutota. Handiti vanhu vanga vari vanhu vekuzanu vaida kuti vachifunga kuti hanzi tine nyaya dzatinoziva. Saka nyaya iyo inyaya yekuti inoda kuongororwa yatariswa nevamwe vanhu vasiri vezanu kana kuti vanotya zanu, nokuti Mnangagwa akataura kuti masoja ndaavo, mapurisa ndaavo. Saka masoja agone kuinvestigata nyaya ine zanu mukati, mapurisa agone kuinvestigata nyaya ine zanu mukati. Vamavhaza ava ngavazive kuti Mavhaza hatisi mapenzi doko, hatisi mapenzi kungoramba tichingoti vana Joana Mamombe nanetsai nana Cecilia havana kuzvirova, havana kuzvikuvadza, havapenge.
Thank you, Doctor. Yeah, thank you, Doctor. Hold on. Yes, can you hold on there? Let me bring in Maviza. Sorry, Tewa Mavinga. Or maybe let's bring in Dr. Mavaza. I think he may be back. Let me check him. I'm not quite sure whether he's still in, Jonga. So I think we have lost Mavaza. I think he's back again.
Yeah. Mavaza ndafunga vadzoka, ndafunga network yamboti nzvengei, asi tichimirira kuti vadzoke.
Yeah, he's there now. The doctor is there. So let's go for him. Just hold on. So, doctor, yes, go ahead, Mavaza. 1 minute. Now we're putting sanctions. 1 minute. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes.
Right. I can't hear you, but if you can hear me, let me comment from what Dr. Ngulule had said. Firstly, I need you to understand one point. When these girls claimed that they were abducted, they did not claim to the police, they did not claim to anybody but to their own party, which was partisan to them. Number two, we cannot just say after every complaint from opposition, we call a third party. We are a sovereign nation. We can control and run our own affairs without calling the United Nations. We can talk about what's happening in our country and heal the ills of the country without going to the United Nations. It is actually the aim of the MDC to seek relevance and to seek attention by rushing to America for complaints, rushing to the United Nations for a small case of abduction. Can you hear me? Yes, for a small case of abduction. So in short, I could say here to Comrade Nkulu and Amavinga, while you are there for human rights does not mean partisan rights. Human rights is rights for everybody. It is not fair that whatever wrong you do within your own party, and then you come back and say this could have been done by ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF has no record of abductions, but it has records of people lying that they've been abducted by ZANU-PF. It has records of people accusing them for what they've not done. And yet, we now live under the shadows of the lies created by the opposition. Even up to today, the opposition has done its own beatings of its own members. They've got the vanguard which beat up people. Monzora's car was scratched and destroyed at Harvest House. BT was beaten by the vanguard at Harvest House while Changreva was still alive. Chamisa have used the vanguard to go and beat up anybody who opposes him. And now Monzora is on a death alert from MDC. but they don't talk about it. They don't go to legislate about it. They come back and say ZANU-PF.
Yes.
I think we need to be mature in our political aspirations and see that Zimbabwe, we have no reason to be afraid of MDC or capture them or torture them now. They are a broken outfit. We're actually praying that they unite because a stronger opposition gives ZANU-PF a stronger power and a better view. So a nation with no opposition does not do very well. So we need the opposition. So we actually pray every day that MDC must resolve their problems because they are kidnapping each other and blame ZANU-PF.
Okay, we'll give Dr. Nkule Sibanda a chance to respond. Doctor, hold on there. So go ahead, Dr. Sibanda.
Look, Doc Mavaza, I swear this on anything that's important to me, okay? If I could do that without offending anybody, I swear it on the Bible, Dr. Mavaza. I'm not lying to you that I was abducted in Blawayo by ZANU-PF activists, clothes, police officers, and I was handed over to them by the police at Blawayo Central in 2001. That is a fact I'm telling you. And they took me over to Kwekwe where they were going to torture and kill me because they'd been given instructions by the then governor of that province, and the guy who lost elections there, who happens to be Mr. Emerson Mnangagwa. I'm not lying to you. I swear this on the Bible, and I wouldn't lie to you about that. And look, the fact of the matter is that the ZANU-PF government claims itself to be government. And you talk about sovereignty. A sovereign nation doesn't kill its own citizens. A sovereign nation doesn't get a president through a coup. So the sovereignty that you speak about is shattered because you disrespect the constitution, which is the basis of our sovereignty, right? And so you need to be able to look at those things with the human eye that you need. Let's put politics aside. Let's stop talking politics. When we talk about human rights, we're talking about very emotive subjects, Dr. Mavaza. You're talking about a 7-year-old dying somewhere. You're talking about somebody being killed by the police, by the soldiers. You're talking about somebody being raped. You're talking about not a statistic, not a number. You're talking about a life. Somebody who breathes, who eats, who fears, who cries, like you do, Dr. Mavaza. You please let us put the politics aside sometimes and agree on certain fundamentals. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it is ZANU-PF. Itaika nasi, Dr. Mavaza. Rovai vanhu vezanu willy-nilly. Tumai masoja aroyo vanhu vezanu. Muvone kuti vadhiwa mavinga vari panava. Havamhanye nayo nyaya yacho here. Imboitai toni.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Go past him with human rights violations, no matter who it is. Murdauti tino reporter mapurisa. Tell Mnangagwa kuti mapurisa asa ake man. Ikana mamudza izozo. Then it makes sense for Joanna to ring Mnangagwa kana kuno abizo. It doesn't make sense when you know that the president of the country cannot see a difference between the different arms of government and say that the police serve ZANU-PF and they are his.
Thank you so much, Chonga.
Yes, I'm not sure whether Mr. Mavinga is still there.
Yes, he's still there. Yes, still there.
Yes, Mavinga.
Yes, you pose a question, then I'll bring him. Yes.
Zvataurwa navamavhaza pamwe navaNkululeko Sibanda. Amene kuti ivo vanoda kutaurawo chii pamusoro paizvozvo nerurimi rweshona.
Okay, Mr. Mavinga, go ahead.
Zvinosuvisa kunzwa avo vakamirira ZANU-PF vachitaura kuti kupambwa nekushungurudza chinhu chidiki uyezve kuti vachisimbirira kuti mapurisa haana mhosva ivo vasingazivi kuti chii chiri kuitika muZimbabwe. Isu tiri kuti isusu kana pachinge paine dambudziko riri kutaurwa kana vana vachinge vachema kuti pane dambudziko, zvava kuda kuti pachitsvagwa vakazvimiririra. Kana vasina chavanoda kuvanza veZANU-PF ngavabvumire United Nations kuti iite tsvagurudzo yega, nekuti tinoziva kuti kutaura kwatiri kuita UN ine maoffices muHarare, saka hazvinetsi. Ko vari kurambireiko? Nekuti dambudziko riri kunzi mapurisa ane mhosvawo nekuti ndo vakarega vanhu vachipambwa, saka mapurisa haagoni kuti vaite vega nyaya yavo varivo vari kupomerwa. Nyoka huru haizvirume. Tiri kuti zvakare nyaya yekodzero muZimbabwe yanyanyisa kuipa vanhu veZANU-PF ngavasapomera vamwe vari kure, ngavangoona nzira yekuti kuti tiende mberi senyika ngatiremekedzei kodzero dzevanhu, ngatiregei kuhwanda nemunwe, ngatiregei kufunga kuti pana ngatinongedza uroi kana kuti venga. Inongori nyaya yekuremekedza kodzero inofanira kunge ichitungamidzwa. Bumbiro remutemo renyika rakataura pachena muganhuro ye210 kuti panofanira kunge paine boka rinofanira kunge riripo rinotambira nyaya dzinobva kune mapurisa kana mauto vanenge vachipomerwa kunzi vashungurudza vanhuwo zvavo. Boka iroro, sangano iroro harisati ravapo, rinofanira kunge riripo. Saka iko zvino vanhu havana kuenda, nekuti kana vachinge vashungurudzwa nemapurisa vanonomhangara kuna aniko, mapurisa achona ariwo ari kunzi ane mhosva.
Thank you, Mr. Mavinga, and hold on, let me bring back Chonga Kandemiri. So just 1 second, Chonga over there. Chonga, over to you. Yes, over to you, Chonga.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Mavinga. I think the issue here, Gibbs, is the government accepting that these abductions really do happen. And it seems that as if the government is in denial. But we have people who have disappeared forever. And we have people like Justina Mkoko who ended up appearing in court after almost 3 months of disappearance. What can Mr. Mavaza, Dr. Mavaza say about that? Dr. Mavaza.
Okay, let me bring him in. Dr. Mavaza, go ahead. Just 2 minutes, 2 minutes exactly. Go ahead, Mr.
Thank
Mavaza.
you.
Yes.
Right. Before I respond, zvataura na Vakandemiri, ndoda kuti tinyatsogadzirisa nyaya yekuti ZANU-PF yakatora nyika nechisimba. ZANU-PF haina kutora nyika nechisimba. Pakauya mhomho yevanhu veMDC vese vari muHarare nevanga vari nzvimbo dziri padhuze, vakaratidzira mukati menzira vakananga kuState House kwaiva navaMugabe. That was MDC. Vakazongobatsira mukuleader was some people veZANU-PF. Saka in other words, ruzhinji rweZimbabwe rwakaungana rukabvisa vaMugabe. Masoja akangopinda mumigwagwa kuchengetedza runyararo. VaMnangagwa vakadaidzwa kwavanga vaenda kunowanda kuSouth Africa kuti vauye vapinde vatonge. ZANU-PF ikagara inonzi Congress ikavasarudza kuita mutungamiri weparty. Saka everything which was done in that time was very constitutional. Saka hakuna nyika yakatorwa nechisimba. Chepiri, tinoziva vanhu vakaita sana Justina Mkoko vakambosungwa vakataura kuti vakamhenga vakatapwa. Asi hatina umboona nhasi kana akavataba hakuna anovaziva. Mapurisa pavakavabata vakamhanya navo kudare. Mupurisa akakusunga anoenda newe kudare. Hatirambe kuti mapurisa anogona kuita manyemwe nekuonererwa nekurova vanhu vanenge vasunga. Izvozvo hazvibvumirwi. Asi tine mapurisa akawanda. From my statistics I'm looking at here, muZimbabwe kubva 2017 kusvika 2020 tine 240 mapurisa akasungwa nenyaya yekurova vasungwa vavanga vasunga. And pa 247, sorry, pa 247 ipapo 120 were convicted, vamwe vese vakaacquitwa. Saka mapurisa haangogara akanyarara. Kana munhu achinge abata munhu amurova, mapurisa anosungwa kuti marovere emusungwa wamasunga. Mutemo wemapurisa hawabvumiri kurova munhu. Asi kana vanhu vachida kuti pati yavo igonzi iri kushungurudzwa, votanga kucreata nyaya nekunyebera dzimwe nyika kuti tarohwa tashungurudzwa. Hazvina kunaka. Ndiko kuuraya nyika yedu iko, kuuraya chimiro cheZimbabwe. Dai takakura paupolitics and hakuna munhu ari kuurayiwa. Masoja haana kuuraya vanhu willy nilly. Zvakaitika munguva yemhirizhonga yanga yakonzerwa nevava vanopikisa hurumende. Kupikisa hurumende hakureve kuunza dambudziko munyika. Kupikisa hurumende hakureve kuunza masanctions munyika. Kupikisa hurumende hakureve kusvibisa zita renyika. Tinofanira kugara pasi sevanhu vakuru totonga nyika yedu nekutongwa zvakanaka. Dr. Ngululeko vaita mistake, havana kunzwisisa kutaura kwechishona kuti tine shamu ine munyu. Hazvida kunzi kurova vanhu. Anti akagadzirira vanhu vari corrupt. And shamu ine munyu utongo hwekudare.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Sibanda, story pendule ngesindebele wesipendula ngesikhiwa nje ngamafutshane. Qhubeka baba.
Yes, ngibone ngani mina uDube esilalo ukuthi silokhu silebantu bezanu uyazi ukuthi ngisuke ekhaya mina bengikhuluma logogozala umama esithi kodwa abantu bezanu lawa ngikwazi banjani ukuthi bakuthatha ngapha ukuthi babe lokhu bebala abantu. So kangazi kahle ukuthi uDr Mavaza ukuthatha ngapha ukuthi acabanga ukuthi base sekhona abantu abakulalelayo lokho abakutshoyo kumbe abakholwayo ukuthi izanu kayisiyo party ephila ngodlame njalo abakholwayo ukuthi izanu kayisiyo ethethe amantombazana eMDC yababamba kubi yadlalisa amalungelo abo babanjwa ngodlame into esifana laze leso. So look, I think that we've come to a point where the conscience of this country is no longer with this kind of these kind of excuses that we're getting from ZANU-PF. The conscience of the country is becoming clearer and clean. And ZANU-PF carried out a coup. You know that in July 23rd, 2018, President Chamisa won the elections and the military was used to once again carry out a coup together with the help of the courts against President Chamisa. But look, the people of Zimbabwe are going to correct that, Dr. Mavaza.
Thank you so much. I think we're joined by Barbara Tanyanyiwa. She's in London. Barbara Tanyanyiwa, how are you?
I'm good, and you, Mr. Dube, how are you?
Very well. So tell us about what you think about human rights abuses in Zimbabwe.
What language do you want me to use today?
Yeah, kuluma asindebele kukala mama.
Ngiyabonga baba Dube.
Yeah.
Okokuqala ngiyabingelela abamukeli labalaleli umhlaba wonke jikelele. Indaba yamalungelo abantu Gibbs eZimbabwe isifike esibangeni esingakhulumekiyo esikuthi i-new dispensation le yayikhulunywa ngayo uMnangagwa ebuya asikayiboni. It tends to be an old dispensation ngoba bayenza okuchiyene nalokho okufanana lokwakusenziwa ngumgabe aze abe ngcono.
Uthi wayengcono ngaliphi umgaba? Hello, I think number yakhe isikhathekile Jonga. Go ahead, Jonga.
Yes, I think we are having a
Yes, now we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. Continue, Barbara. Kubeka mafutshane sebele.
Yeah. Ngithosa kusenzakala kathesi kuyethusa njalo kuyesabeka Gibbs ukuthi khona iZANU-PF ilokho isiya phambili ngokwephula amalungelo abantu. Sibona okusanda kwenzakala ngamantombazana la amathathu uJohana uSicilia loNetsayi lapho abathunjwa khona, kodwa iZANU lokho ikhuluma isithi khona bayafeka kumbe baqamba amanga abathunjwanga. Kambe sure kulomuntu ongafeka ukulimala, kulomuntu ongafeka ukuhlukunyezwa, kulomuntu ongahamba aye-admithwe ezibhedlela athatha ama-drip ayenzeni, lokho kuthiwa khona baqamba amanga. So nxa uyukuthi baqamba amanga esibhedlela badingani? Yazi sesidiniwe thina ngamanga weZANU, abantu abadala abangelanhloni abaqamba amanga abaphika izinto abazenzayo. Kade bakuqalisa lokho abakuqalisanga kathesi. iZANU-PF is a system. It's not about individuals. Okwakusenziwa ngumgabe lokhu kusenziwa kathesi, but okwakathesi okwenziwa nguMnangagwa it's even worse, like ngike ngakhuluma. So ukuthi bakhulume batshela abantu ukuthi khona amankazana kathunjwanga, nanko sebababekela amacala ukuthi khona false abduction akusebenzi Gibbs. Amankazana ahlukuluzwa, amankazana athunjwa, and athunjwa ngabantu abasebenzela esithi state security, amapolisa whatever, kumbe ngamapolisa kumbe ngama-CIO kumbe ngamasotsha. Thina esikufunayo ukuthi kukhangelwe udaba lwamankazana ukuthi ngobani abakwenza khonokho, abantu bakhona babotshwe, instead ukuthi kubotshwe abantu abahlukuluzi abahlukumezi, kubotshwa ama-victims, okuyinto edanisayo kakhulu.
Yeah, so siyakuzwa kakhulu. Sicela ukufaka ngesikhiwa 1 minute singakayi kuJonga, just 1 minute ngesikhiwa owathi ukukhuluma nje khonokho. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Gibbs. What I was just saying about the human rights abuse in Zimbabwe, it has reached an alarming level whereby most people thought by bringing Mnangagwa as a president, most people thought it was going to be better, it was going to change. And when they said it's a new dispensation, most people thought the new dispensation was going to erase the old dispensation. What was the old dispensation doing? The old dispensation was abusing human rights. It was corrupt. It was doing a lot of things. There were abductions. People were being killed. There were no free and fair elections. You name them. There were a lot of things that were happening. There was collapse of the economy. In the new dispensation, what are we seeing? We are seeing worse things than the old dispensation. Corruption is now even worse. Abductions, they are still there. The killings, when Mugabe was there, we never saw protesters being killed. But when Mnangagwa came, protesters started being killed. There is no more respect of the constitution. You can't do anything that is in the constitution.
Thank you.
Because the human rights are being violated every day. And the recent case being the case of the three girls, Joanna, Cecilia, and Netai, whom now the system or the ZANU-PF is saying they are faking abductions, and they're saying they were not abducted, and they even want to arrest them for false abductions, which is very absurd to us. Those girls were abducted and they were taken at a roadblock. They were taken to Harare Central Police, and from there they were nowhere to be seen.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Madam. Let's have Jonga. Thank you so much. We'll come back to you.
I wanted to bring in, Mr. Mavinga. We have seen since last week a spate of arrests, lawyers being arrested. What's his take on that?
So let's bring in Mavinga on lawyers being arrested. What's your take on that, Mr. Mavinga?
The arrest of lawyers, mostly to do with their professional duties, is a gross violation of the separation of powers principle. It is a disregard for the ideas of the rule of law. Lawyers should never be associated with the causes of their clients. And in the case of Advocate Tabale Mpofu, in the case of Tapiwa, Mayenza, and others, lawyers in that particular case of Simbarashe Zuze, it was obvious the matter had been investigated by the Law Society of Zimbabwe, which is the regulatory body that governs the ethics and conduct of lawyers in Zimbabwe. And now you have the Law Society of Zimbabwe complaining about these unnecessary arrests, which constitute really harassment and persecution of lawyers so that they can be afraid to do their work. Zimbabwe is making itself a laughing stock of the world. Where in the world are professionals abused and harassed like this? It's unacceptable. It should stop. And the Foreign Affairs Minister, S.B. Moyo, should know that all the efforts at international re-engagement mean nothing when Zimbabwe does not respect human rights, does not respect lawyers, and does not respect the rule of law. We need lawyers to be able to stand for human rights and for their clients without the fear of being abused. Just today, there has been an arrest of another lawyer with regards to a matter that took place in court. And this is simply unacceptable. Zimbabwe has become a rogue state. It has really gone for broke. It should stop. It should respect human rights and the rule of law.
Can you say that in Shona, just briefly, Mr. Mavinga?
Kusungwa kwemagweta panyaya dzavanenge vachitamba mumatare edzimhosva kwakaipa zvachose. Kunotaridza kuti hurumende yeZimbabwe haisi kuremekedza mashandiro emagweta, haisi kuremekedza kusiyana kwemabasa, kuti kana vanenge vari mumatare edzimhosva havafaniri kubatanidzwa nyaya dzavo nedzevanhu vavanomiririra. Magweta anofanira kuita basa rawo vachimiririra vanhu pasina kutya kuti vachasungwa. Kusungwa kwaadvocate Tabale Mpofu nevamwe wavo hazvina kunaka zvachose, zvinosvibisa zita renyika pasi rose. Pasi rose rinoita Zimbabwe chiseko nenyaya yekusaremekedza mitemo, yekusaremekedza kodzero dzevanhu, yekusaremekedza mabasa evanhu semagweta kana mabasa ana chiremba. Zvinofanira kuti zvimire zvese izvi tione kuti Zimbabwe inoremekedza hapana chimiro chiripo kunyika. Gurukota rezvekunze kwenyika nekuchidzana nevamwe vaSB Moyo vanofanira kuziva kuti basa ravo hapana chinobuda, nekuti zviri kuitika muZimbabwe zvinoshoresa zvakanyanyisa kushungurudzwa kwemagweta vachiita basa ravo.
Thank you very much, Teoma Mavinga Chonga. If ever maybe you've got another question before we end our show. So any other question? Yes.
Yes. Ndingada kuisa mvunzo kuna amai Tanyanyiwa. Munhukadzi vanotiwo nezviri kuitika izvi tichiona kushungurudzwa kwamadzimai. Vamwe vari kuti masangano anomirira madzimai haasi kunyanyotaurawo zvakanyanya kuti nyaya dzekushungurudzwa kwamadzimai dzipfuure. Vari kuti
Yes, Tanyanyiwa, go ahead. Umbuzo uthi ubona njani konoko kwenzakalayo kubomama ikakhulu nxa sikhangele eZimbabwe khona ukuthi babe bethunjwa kuze kuthiwa badlwengulwe, wena ngumama pho kubona njani konke lokho?
Into ebuhlungu kuyasikhathaza kakhulu njengabomama Gibbs ukuthi ngesikhathi lesi sisithi thina sikhululekile, umuntu ongumama uzizwa engakhululekanga eZimbabwe, especially kundaba ze-politics. Sibona kathesi amazwe amaningi abambene ukuthi abantu abangomama baphatheke endabeni ezembangazwe ukwenzela ukuthi khona labo babe lokukhuluma phela, babe le-voice kumbe esithi lokhu i-decision making ezintweni eziningi, ngoba kathesi nxa sikhangela indaba zentuthuko bathi akula ntuthuko engayenziwa kungela mama. So nxa omama behlukuluzwa kanje, omama bazayesaba even kungena ku-politics ukuthi nxa kuzahlukuluzwa u-MP wathi mo mina unjwathi, ngoba omama abaningi batsho njalo. Nxa kuzahlukuluzwa u-MP, uhulumende nxa engayesabi umuntu ongu-MP wathi umama nje ozithi yena sefuna ukuthi angene kwezombangazwe ukuthi naye abe part and parcel ukukhulula ilizwe.
Ufake isikhiwa. Ufaka isishona la ngesikhiwa nxa usenelisa khona. Ngomafishane mama.
Yes. Yeah, we are not safe as women, especially these days when it's being advocated for women to participate in every sphere of life, be it in politics, be it in civil society, be it in wherever, in churches, wherever. We are being encouraged to take a decision-making position. So if women are not free, especially in politics, then it means it's going to be a male-dominated field whereby women are pushed aside. We know there are so many statutes that Zimbabwe is signatory to, and especially this Convention on the Elimination and Discrimination Against Women, DICIDO. We are a signatory, and the women are not supposed to be discriminated. They are not supposed to be abused. They are supposed to be protected. And we are so much concerned about the people that are supposed to protect us are the same people that are torturing us, that are abusing us. So we are not safe as women.
Your last word, Dr. Sibanda, very briefly, 30 seconds.
I think that for ZANU-PF and others, it is very clear that the general sentiment and the position where Zimbabweans are, it is that we cannot be lied to anymore, and that we probably need to make sure that our constitution reinstated. And we thank people who are doing a lot of great work, and the comments by Barbara are very teachable. The work that Teoma Mavinga and many others like him, very teachable too. I must hasten to say that just today another lawyer who works for President Chamisa, Advocate Hashiti, has also been arrested on some charges in Bulawayo. Dumisani was arrested 4 days ago, and that all these are being arrested for political reasons. So the struggle goes on, the fight shall not end, and this country will be free.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to bring in Dr. Masimba Mavaza, but I'm sure his network is not doing well. But definitely we've come to the end of our show, and please note that this is a pre-recorded show. I wish to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Masimba Mavaza of ZANU-PF Dr. Dewa Mavinga, a human rights lawyer, Barbara Tanyanyiwa, who is a political activist based in London, and Dr. Nkululeko Sibanda, MTC Alliance presidential spokesperson. Over to you, Chonga.
Thank you so much, Gibson. Tinotenda zvikuru vadare vedu vapinda muchirongwa. Tatina Dr. Simba Mavaza vezano PF vari ku-UK, manzwa Dr. Nkululeko Sibanda mutauriri wemutungamiri webato reMDC Alliance vari kuHarare, pamwe chete naDewa Mavinga vanorwira kodzero dzevanhu naamai Barbara Tanyanyiwa vanorwirawo kodzero dzevanhu. Ini ndini Jonga Kandemiri, ndiri muSilver Spring kuMaryland. Ndoti murare zvakanaka vateereri.
And this is Gibbs Dube saying good night, Zimbabwe. Bye-bye.